Hello everybody, this is Lindsay with Stampin' with Lindsay. Now I did create a post yesterday on my Instagram that I would do a little tutorial video to show you how to make this super cute little pop-up card. It's called a triangle corner pop-up card, and the way it folds together is you can flatten this and this, and you can fold this all together. So it actually fits in a standard, I believe it's 4.5 by 5 3/4 envelope. So it still fits in your standard envelope. It is a little bit of a thicker card, but you're still able to send this in the mail if you wanted to. And to open the card, you just pop it up like so, put these two pieces together. These will fold automatically, and then you pop your little flowers up. How cute is that? Now, this card I'd say is good for an intermediate stamper. So if you're new to stamping, don't let this one scare you, but definitely have a watch, because it's an interesting card, and once you're comfortable around the ink pad, it'll be a nice little project for you to have. Now the way it holds open like this is actually, I've used magnets, so I don't know if you can see how it just like naturally pulls itself together. I've got a magnet in the corner here, and I'll show you which magnets I've used, where I got them, and how I assemble this card. So for now, I'm just going to put this aside so I don't wreck it and it doesn't get in the way. And the stamp set, actually the whole bundle we're going to be using for this card is our new Good Morning Magnolia bundle. It's actually the whole suite of products. So I've got the stamp set, I've got the dies, I have got the designer series paper, and I think on this card for you guys, I'm going to add the Magnolia Lane cork embellishments so that you can see those as well. Okay, let me just set all this aside. Okay, so first things first, you're going to start with your base. So your base is going to measure 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Now the color of this cardstock is our new Rococo Rose cardstock. So this is going to be one of our new in colors for the next 2 years. So this is your first little sneak peek at it. How gorgeous is that? Okay, wow, hey. So you're going to need that for your card base. Then you're going to need to cut 3 squares of your designer series paper. These squares will measure 3 3/4 inches by 3 3/4 inch. You'll cut 3 of these, and then for 2 of them you will actually cut in half at a diagonal, just like so. Okay. Next, you're also going to need 3 pieces of colored cardstock of your choice. These squares measure 4 inches by 4 inches. And again, you'll cut 3 of them, and for 2 of them, you will cut them at a diagonal. And then you'll also need 1 extra piece of, this is our Whisper White cardstock. It also measures 4 inches by 4 inches. Okay. So I'm actually going to start off with the Whisper White. And we'll get some of our stamping out of the way first. We'll get our design started before I actually assemble the card. So I'll bring our 3D card back here. So this piece of cardstock is actually going to go on the inside. Now this is where you could write your special saying to whoever you're giving this to for whatever occasion it is. And on this white piece, I've just added a couple of the leaves here to hide a magnet that's in the corner, so that the fact that the piece of paper, which is kind of bubbled here, isn't as noticeable. Okay, so I'm going to take the little leaf from our Good Morning Magnolia set, and I'm going to get our Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I'm just going to put 1 there, 1 there, and then I'm going to clean this off on our Simply Chamois. So there we go. Done. Now the reason why I use the Tuxedo Black Memento ink rather than the Stays On ink is because now I want to color my leaves with our Stampin' Blends, and it is best to use the Memento ink rather than the Stays On to avoid the ink from bleeding. Now what I've got here is the dark Granny Apple Green, and I'm just going to kind of outline my leaf. Kind of go down the center and through the ribs on the leaf. Do that for both of them. And then we take the light Granny Apple Green and just kind of color in the middles and blend the darker color together so that you can't really tell that you did that, and it gives it a little bit more dimension. It doesn't look like just a flat leaf. So there you go. So this piece is done. So I'm going to set that aside. Now next what we're going to want to do is assemble all of our designer series paper and our cardstock. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll take all my squares of paper, and we'll start with this one. I'm going to use this design on top of our petal pink cardstock, and I'm going to use mono multi-glue. And the reason why I'm using mono multi-glue is because it's easy once you get the square on the paper to adjust it a little before the glue sets in. And you really don't need a whole lot for this. So here I'm just going to put it on my cardstock and then move it around a little until I'm happy with where it is, so it looks lined up and square. There. And I'm going to do the same thing with these. So I'm going to need 2 triangles of each side of this designer series paper. Now, if you are seeing this on Facebook or on YouTube and you don't know yet, I have a new blog, so feel free to head over to my blog and subscribe so you get notices that these videos are coming out. My blog, the website for my blog is www.stampinwithlindsayl.blogspot.com. Okay? So head on over there. I'll put some other announcements, some pictures. There's also shopping lists, so if you want an easy shopping list for all the cards I make, it's kind of a one-stop shop. Excuse me. So it's a one-stop shop where you can kind of see the products I use, click on them, and order them straight from the blog. So it's kind of handy. Now, of course, some of this, because it's new and it's not released till June 4th, won't be available till June 4th. But you can still head over to the blog and check it out, and then when June 4th rolls around, you can order these items. Or if you're going to be in the Edmonton area and you are interested, I am holding a catalog launch party on June 2nd. So that's this upcoming Sunday at 2 p.m. And I am giving a chance for my customers to get a pre-order in. So before the catalog even launches, you'll get to play with some of the product as well as place your order for a few items. Now the cost of the class is $20, and we're going to be making 7 cards. So it'll be 4 different designs, 2 of each, except we will be making one of these pop-up cards. So you'll actually get a chance to make it if you're able to attend the launch party. And you can also find the events if you go through my blog. I made a post today already, and there's a link so that you can RSVP. I only have room for 8 people, and they're already 50% full. So if you can make it, head over there now, RSVP, and then we'll see you Sunday, okay? Okay, so now the next thing I'm gonna do is I've already pre-stamped my little magnolia buds here, and I'm just gonna color them. And what I'm gonna use is the dark petal pink. What I do is just kind of color in the very insides of the flowers, kind of like how the designer series paper is. See how there's like a light pink on the center of each petal? That's kind of what I'm doing here. So again, this is the dark petal pink. Then I'm going to take the light petal pink and add a little bit more of a layer on top of that. So what I like about the blends, because they blend so well together that, you know, really I'm not spending a lot of time doing this. It looks kind of sloppy, but when I'm done, it looks beautiful. Okay, and now I'm just going to take the color lifter, and I'm going to use the brush side of it and just kind of brush it and blend it all in together so you don't see any marker lines. There, how nice is that? So pretty. And then I'm going to take my same Granny Apple Green that I used for the leaves on this base to color the stem as well as the leaves on our buds. Again, I'm using the dark shade for the outline. And then I'll use the light Granny Apple Green to color them in. So just bear with me one moment here. Okay. Sorry if my table shakes too. I noticed in my last video when I'm coloring I tend to shake the whole table, so sorry if it's making you sick. Now I'm just going to take my die from my Good Morning Magnolia die set from the bundle, and I'm going to cut these out on my Big Shot, so just give me one moment. Alright, I'm back. So I've cut them out now. And I do want to apologize if I've got the sniffles and for my coughing. I am located in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. Right now there's quite a few forest fires going on in Alberta, so please send your prayers for those that have been evacuated from their homes. It's made our province extremely smoky, so my allergies have kicked in. My throat's sore, my eyes are watering, and so is my nose. So I do apologize for all the sniffles that are happening right now. But let's continue with our card, because cards cheer everybody up. And you know what, I might even see if I can find some addresses of those that have been evacuated just to brighten their day. I'll try to send them something once they're back in their homes. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this little enjoy today. Now the way I did that is I took a 1/2 inch strip of Whisper White cardstock and I just stamped my saying on there. And to get the little edge like that, I took our tailored punch and I just put the end of my ribbon in the little corner piece of the tailored punch so that you get like an even little, kind of like a banner cut out. So yeah, just like that. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Just line it up, just like so. Done. Perfect. See, that's how you get those perfect little, I guess it's like an arrow design for a banner. This you can just throw out. We're going to keep the tailored punch for now because I've got this background color. So what I did is I took, this is just a scrap piece of the Petal Pink cardstock. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to need the tailored punch anymore, so I'm just going to put that away because it's faster for me to do it another way. So I'm just going to take my Mono Multi-Glue again. Put a little bit on the back of my saying. And then I'm going to put it onto this scrap piece of paper here. Put my glue lid on so it doesn't dry out on me. And now I'm going to take my scissors, because I'm actually really good at cutting straight lines. If you're not, you can get your cutter out. But I'm just going to cut around, leaving a little pink edge around my saying. Now, of course, if you decide to make this card at home and you don't have the Magnolia, Good Morning Magnolia Suite, you're not a fan of pink, and maybe this is a pop-up card for a boy for his birthday, you can use whatever colors and whatever designer series paper and stamp set that you like. This is just, I'm using this so I can show you guys this suite because it's gorgeous. Plus, how awesome is this pop-up card? And it's really easy, actually. Okay, so there's your saying, there's our background. We've got all our DSP glued and everything, so this is all ready to go. So now what we have to do is get our base ready. So again, here's our base. This is this gorgeous Rococo Rose design, our cardstock with our new in color Rococo Rose. This color is going to be around for the year 2019, 2020. So it's going to be around for a couple of years. Get used to it because I'm going to use it a lot. It's so pretty. I'm just going to set my scissors aside, and what I'm going to get out is my Simply Scored pad here. And we've got to start kind of getting our base ready. So I'm going to line this up at the top. As you can see, it's 8.5 inches, and I want to score it in half. So instead, I'll do 4 1/4. Score it right down, and then flip it and do the same on the other direction. So right now I've got 4 squares. Each of the squares measures 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. Now, to get those angles, what I do is I take it, hopefully you can see this, I take it over to the edge of my board. And let's just say I'm looking at it like this. So this is my bottom left corner, my bottom right corner, top right, top left. So I want to take my top right corner and I want to go from the inside to the outside. From the inside corner to the outside corner. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm going to put it on the edge of my Simply Scored pad here. And I'm going to line it up, and using the edge, I'm going to put my crease. So see how easy that was? So again, that's in my top right square, and I'm going from the upper inside corner to the lower outside corner, making a crease. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing now on the upper left corner. I'm going to go from the upward inside corner and go to the outer bottom corner. Okay, so I'll flip it like this, line it up on the edge here. Now if you have a cutting tool, I believe most of them come with scores, and you could also do it on there, but I just like to use my Simply Scored. Okay, so just like that. Now you're probably wondering how this pops out, right? Well, now we're going to take our little scissors again, and we're going to cut. So here's your bottom right corner and your bottom left corner, and we're going to cut these 2 1/2 to the middle. So I'm just going to follow the crease. Just like that. There we go. Oh, that was a horrible cut. That's okay. All right, so now I'm going to take this one and fold it upward. I'm going to get my bone folder so I get a nice crisp fold. Okay. And I'm going to fold this one up. Again, use the bone folder to get a nice crisp fold. And then I'm going to fold it in half. Get a crisp fold. And I'm going to fold this corner out. Crisp fold. And do the same thing on this side. Okay, so here you essentially have your card already. Can you see it starting to shape up? So now, this is the trick that I was telling you about that I used at Magnet. So as you can see, if we had the card like this doesn't exactly stay together. Like, see how it kind of pops out? It doesn't line up nicely without that magnet. So what I'm going to do, so in the bottom right corner, you're going to take your cardstock with your solid designer series paper, and we're going to be putting that on this side. But I want the magnet to be right here. Okay. Now what I did is I went on Amazon. Unfortunately, this is not something that Stampin' Up! Sells, but they are available on Amazon for about $12. And these are little tiny magnets. Now these measure 1 millimeter by 5 millimeters. And as you can see, that's how tiny they are. And it's because I really don't want to weigh my card down with anything. I just need something tiny to hold it together. So when you order it from Amazon, it'll come in a little case like this. You can keep it handy. There's 150 magnets in here, so you can make a lot of pop-ups with these magnets, okay? And to attach these magnets, I'm going to use our mini glue dots. Okay, so I'm going to take one to start. And I'll show you why in a second, that I'm only going to put glue on one, okay? And I'm going to put that down here-ish. Right about there. Okay. Now, I'm going to take my mono multi-glue, put some glue around here, and then some glue all on the back of my solid square of cardstock and DSB. Okay. And I'm going to lay this down over top of the magnet. Now, a trick I use for this while it's drying is I put a couple of paper clips on there just to kind of hold it down, the cardstock down around the magnet so that it dries. It only has to stay there for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. So while that's working, it's magic, I'm going to put some of our triangular pieces up at the top. Now this one is going to be going there. So I'm going to take some of our mono multi-glue. And again, I'm using mono multi-glue so that when I put it down, it doesn't stick immediately, and I can adjust it until I'm happy with how it looks. Alrighty. Perfect, just like that. And take this one. Now you can get creative with these pop-up cards a little more too. So I just used one type of designer series paper, but if you have multiple colors, you could essentially have all of these different pieces of designer series paper. It's whatever appeals to you and however you want to design your card. Okay, so now I'm going to take these clips off. As you can see, my cardstock isn't sticking down now, but my magnet is securely in place. And the reason why I don't put a glue dot on the second piece to start is because I want to make sure it's going to line up with this one. Okay, and I'll show you why. So this right now, I've got the side of the magnet that will not stick with this, and you'll actually see it flip. Oh, I lied. Maybe it's the other way. Oh, it's still gonna work. So usually there is one side of the magnet that just does not stick as well. Actually, it's this side. So it's only going, I don't know if it's forcing me and it's only going around the edge. So I'm gonna flip it over and now it sticks right in the middle. It went right to it. I didn't even have to try. So while it's there, I'm gonna take one of these dots and put it on the back of the magnet, just like so. Okay, I still want it on this piece of paper, so I'm going to get it back on there without my glue dot. Okay, and now I'm going to line the other side of the card up with this one, just like so. Now when I pull it away, my magnet is in the spot I needed it. See? Now, if you remember, we stamped our little leaves to hide our magnet. So I'm going to take my white piece now, same thing, using mono multi-glue. And glue all around. And we'll use the same trick with the clips on this side as well. So you see how it's kind of sticking up and you've got this edge here. When you put the clips on, it forces the glue onto those pieces of paper, and then once it's dry, it sticks there for you. Again, while that's drying, I'm going to finish putting on my triangles. Now this card isn't hard, there's just a lot of steps to it. So definitely don't think this is only going to take you a few minutes to put together, because you have to design your card and then cut all your cardstock and your designer series paper and figure out your stamp, etc., etc., etc. Okay, just about. We're getting close to getting done. We just got to work on our little pop-up portion, our pop-up design. Okay, so I'm going to take these clips off. Again, you can see now it's solid and it's going to hold that down, okay? Put those away. And here we go. Here's our working card. Just like that. You see how it kind of snaps together? Maybe you can hear it. See? Yeah, hopefully you can hear that. I know I can. But, so here's our pop-up. Now, you're wondering probably how we got that little centerpiece. So what I did is I took one of our, well, let's see how big across this one is. So I took one of our stitched labels circles dies. This one measures 3 inches across. So this is, I believe, the biggest one of the set. And these are our stitched labeled framelits. So these are all my squares. They don't stick to my mat anymore. And then it comes with ovals and circles. This one is definitely the biggest of all the stitched labels. And what I did was I'll kind of show you how I did it. So bear with me a moment. So I took a scrap piece of paper like this. So this is just Whisper White cardstock. I folded it in half and got a crisp line using my bone folder. I don't care what size it is as long as it just fits your die. And then on my Big Shot, I put the die laying face up, like cutting side up. And I took my folded edge and I brought it up just to the edge here. So I'm not sure if you can see, but basically I ran it through the Big Shot like this. So you've still got a little cutting edge that's run off the side of the piece of paper. And what happens is when you do that and you run it through your Big Shot and cut it, you get a square that looks like this, but it's still attached and open because you didn't cut where the folded edge is. So you'll get something like this, okay? So I did this already ahead of time. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take one of these circles and you're gonna fold it in half. So I'm just gonna fold this like this. And then what you'll do is you'll also cut an extra circle. So this is just a plain no fold circle. And you're gonna glue it just like that, okay? But you're only gonna glue on the half that you folded. So again, I'm gonna take my Mono Multi Glue. For this kind of project, the Mono Multi Glue tends to work best because then you can adjust things again before the glue settles. So it's hard to make any sort of mistakes. Okay, so that's on there like that. Done. So it's gonna go like this, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna glue this to our card base. So again, get some Mono Multi Glue. And I want the folded portion to be in the corner. So just like so. So that when I go like this, it'll pop up. Okay. Now I'm going to attach my little magnolia rosebuds to my little background here. And to do this, I used some of our Stampin' Dimensionals. Just a couple on each. You don't need too many. Our Stampin' Dimensionals are very sticky. Let's peel these backings off. My allergies seem to have calmed down a little bit. You guys don't have to listen to my sniffles. Alright, that one I'll put like this. Okay, now we need our little saying put down so that it'll hold our pop-up when it goes up. So here's our little enjoy today. And again, I'm just going to use dimensionals. We're going to use 2, 1 on either side. All right. I'm just going to pop it up. Put this where I want it. And then there's our little pop-up portion. Now, I did say I was going to add some of our Magnolia Lane cork embellishments. I haven't actually opened this yet, so it's the first time I'm looking at them. So let's see what we've got here. So we've got some magnolia blossoms and some petals. Oh, we have these cute little sayings. So even I could have stamped like a thank you or something on here, and I could have used these as my pop-up option. That would have been super cute, hey? Maybe my next one I'll do that. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take the blossoms and I'm just going to put one on either side of my little flaps here, okay? And I'm just going to use my Mono Multi Glue again. These cork embellishments are super cute. I might have to order more of these. Because I only got the 1 pack and I don't think it's going to be enough. There we go. That's it. We're all done. So there you go. There's your pop-up card. Lays flat. You can fold it into a card or you can pop it up just like so. I hope you guys like this tutorial today. Again, I apologize for the scratchy throat and the sniffles. These forest fires are deadly right now. I suggest if you haven't heard about it that you look it up and help in any way you can, because there are thousands of people that have been evacuated from their homes right now in Alberta. And if you're wanting to get a shopping list for this card, make sure you head over to my blog. Again, it's a brand new blog, but I'd love for you to subscribe so that you can stay up to date on different tutorials and announcements that I have. My blog again is stampinwithlindsayl.blogspot.com. Okay, thanks so much guys and happy stamping. I hope you have a great weekend.